Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. We're a bit earlier than advertised. A few reasons for that. Top of the list would be the sound quality on the last one. I know it came through really quiet. Sorry about that. I'm a bit gutted myself. Had some good content I felt on there. You can hear it if you say put it on the TV onto YouTube and whack it up to full. But anyhow, I've got a fancy new mic. Hopefully it will be good from here. So I just wanted to really see how the sound comes through on this one. Apart from that, I made a few minor mistakes. I mean, I'm going off the top of my head for most of this. Nothing major. I think I said Sir Gerard won the Supreme. Of course, he won the Ballymore. Just little minor things like that. I think I called Love Envoy Allen. I'm going to make mistakes, you know. You guys can pick me up on that. That's cool. Apart from that, I missed a couple of bits out as well when I was talking about horses. That were just... I know the last video went on for nearly an hour. I'll try and make this one a bit shorter. I'll just kind of skip through them a bit quicker now. I know people's attention spans, let's be honest, aren't the best. I mean, you go on YouTube now, there's like 1 minute videos and shit, you know. That's not our faults, you know. We've been subject to decades of fucking social engineering from powerful dark forces, you know. We'll stick to the racing now. I don't want to get into trouble before we get started here. So we like a racing bubble. So Smoking Cheltenham. I've got a few rolled here. Right. So yeah, we'll just skip through all the races again that I covered before. There were one I missed out actually, and I'd got a small ante-post bet in that, so I'll mention that race as well. Right then. Supreme, as you were, I'd be against the favourite, as I said, see what Mullins and Henderson bring to the table. Already, there's been one horse I noticed come out over the summer. I did make some notes, look. It's a fucking mess, like, you know, but hopefully it'll stop me, help a little bit, like, stop forgetting the names and stuff. Pardon me. Yeah, Supreme. You ought to know. Yeah, good job I forgot it again. Yeah, you ought to know. I noticed he came out in a bumper back end of last season. Never ran before, you know, never seen a race course before, points, bumpers or anything. And wow, I mean, there were an horse, Elliott's very highly regarded point to point at Croke Park. There were an horse of Joseph's, Joshua DeFlo. He'd got some good, he'd had one hurdle run, got some good form behind. Absolute notions. Finished a few lengths behind that. You know, that read good form for a bumper. You ought to know, just laughed at him. Really impressive. It came out and followed that up at Galway. So he's just the first one of many of Mullins's. That, I mean, I wouldn't really be recommending a bet on it now. I think it's sort of 12s, 14s. You know, he's going to have several more. So yeah, we'll hang fire with the Supreme. The Arkle covered that. Still big on Facile Vega. Champion Hurdle. Yeah, that's, you know, if you followed me in there, we're on constitutional odds against. we'll be feeling fairly good about that at the moment. It's the odds against is all gone now. I think 4-6 is best. Decision is imminent next week, so we'll see if we're still feeling good this time next week about that. I mentioned a few reasons why, you know, I'm fairly confident he'd stay over hurdles. The one reason I didn't mention is, you know, you've got this superstar horse on your hands here, and you want to, you know, longevity is important. You want to get the most seasons you can out of this horse. You like, you know, you want to give him the opportunity to prove that he's one of the all-time greats. You know, staying to 2 mile hurdles, that's... I remember Willie a while back, or it might have been Ruby, saying, you know, it's easier to keep a hurdler sound than a chaser. It's also easier to keep a horse sound over 2 miles than, say, 3 miles. You know, 3 miles is demanding a lot more. You know, you don't want to go to, you know, you're kind of stretching the horse there. I mean, you know, you're going to go over fences, stretch him, try and make him stay a Gold Cup trip, which, like I said, I don't think he'd get in a month of Sundays. You know, so yeah, whereas if he stays over hurdles, I mean, he could win, what is he's 6 now, 7, 8, 9, he could win another 3 champion hurdles. No horse has won 4. You know, so he has got a real chance there, you know, of becoming an all-time great. So, yeah, I think he's gonna. I think we're good there. The race I've thought most about this summer, funnily enough, is the Mares Hurdle race. If you remember, if you saw the last video, a bit on the fence there between Ashrow Diamond and Lossiemouth. I'd got a small bet on Ashrow Diamond after Fairy House. What kind of changed there is, if you remember, I weren't sure. You never really know how the juvenile form's going to measure up until they come out against the older horses. And how, you know, the horse Lossiemouth beat there at Punchestown, Zarek de Brave, came out and won the Galway Hurdle for mark, I think around 145. So that form stacks up now. You've got a bit more substance to that form. That's already putting Lossiemouth, you know, it's been tested now into the 150s. You know, you could be fairly certain about that now. So because of that, and also if you remember, I mentioned a comment about Willie mentioning the champion hurdle in a couple of years' time. As much as I think Ashrow Diamond's got, you know, a lot of potential at 2.5, you can't see this horse in a champion hurdle. He'd get lapped, you know, so yeah. I've backed Lossiemouth recently. The 7-2 is the best. I really wouldn't want to go less than that. It's really borderline. I mean, you know, I can't sit here and say it's a great bet at 7-2. It could look a great bet in a while, you know. It could be odds on going into Cheltenham. It's that sort. It could be, you know. So I've jumped on the Lossiemouth train there, backed it at 7-2. Come on, Lossiemouth, you know. The 4 miler then. Yeah, I mentioned Affordale Fury. I did mention his age. said he'd be a 6-year-old going into this year. But yeah, there's, like I says, the age, it's, look, if you're going to be a world-class football player, you know, like a Ronaldo or a Messi, you show it at a young age, you know, 17, 18, these players are superstars, you know. No different for horses, really. You know, okay, obviously there's a natural progression with age there. Generally, some horses shine like a mastermind early on and then just go. But the fact he was a 5-year-old Affordale Fury and he ran in the Bartlett and then backed it up at Punchestown as a 5-year-old in 2 tough races. I might even be underestimating this horse. I said, you know, I didn't think he'd have the class to maybe win an RSA at a Browns. He looks all over 4 mile horse to me. One for the 3 mile 6, a 4 miler. But maybe he would have the class to win an RSA even. You know, if you remember, I said to keep the bet really small because I think there's significant doubts. I could see him running in an RSA and then taking in the Irish National. No Mead likes the Irish National. It's worth a load more than a 4 miler. You know, I could see him going that route, but yeah, he's an horse. Don't underestimate this horse. It'll be interesting to see how he goes this year. Wednesday, Ballyburn for the Ballymore. Yeah, happy with that. The Browns, like I said, there's a load of horses there. I'd had a small bet on Fact to File and Stay Away Faye at big prices. You know, I think it's still 16 Stay Away Faye. Fact to File, I think you're looking at 28s or something like that. What I didn't mention about Fact to File was his age. He's already a 6-year-old coming out of the bumper, so next year he'll be 7. That's another reason for him to maybe go over fences and just, you know, skip the hurdling. Because he'd be a 7-year-old then for the Browns, or he could even go Turners, but, you know, for the Browns win. I think Willie, you see, and then he'd be 8 for his Gold Cup. You don't really want to be going for your first Gold Cup older than 8. So the fact Willie mentioned fences even sort of tells me he's thinking this could be Gold Cup class. Otherwise he wouldn't really be too fussed, like, you know, just go the easier route if you like. So yeah, could be. We'll find out the answers to a lot of these questions soon. But yeah, as I say, just a small bet, like, you know. I'm just intrigued with him, like I said. Thursday, yeah, Impera Pass for the Turners. Happy with that. Gaelic Warrior. Well, just coming back to Impera Pass. So, them big 5 I mentioned. I said Passar Vega for the Arkle, Constitutional for the Champion Hurdle, El Fabiolo for the Queen Mother Champion Chase, Impera Pass for the Turners, and Gaelic Warrior for the Stayers. Now all those 5 have got doubts to some degree if they'd be going for the races, you know. Out of the 5, the one that might be the biggest doubt would be Imperi Pass. Because Willie did say after Cheltenham, he was talking up, this could be a champion hurdle horse, you know. Before Cheltenham, the yard, I think it was David Casey, maybe, was saying this is, they can't wait to go chasing with this horse, you know. So I just don't see him wasting another big bullet at Constitutional. So a lot of this revolves around Constitutional, I'd imagine. But, you know, to me the Turners, it could be a penalty kick for that on the days. It could be really short, you know. He's got State Man there if anything goes wrong with Constitutional. I mean, unless Imperi Pass is smashing up State Man on the gallops, then I just do not see the point. So hopefully we'll be alright with that. Yeah, Gaelic Warrior for the stayers. Yeah, again, an age thing. You know, I didn't mention his age last time. You know, he's been to Cheltenham twice, 4 and 5. He's only going to be 6, so that's exciting. You know, he could win potentially the next 3 stayers hurdles. You know. The other thing I didn't mention about him is when they did step him up to 3 at Punchestown, they changed tactics a bit. Townsend rode him stone cold, you know, switched him off. I was a bit worried, you know, watching the race, but yeah, the fact he relaxed for that, you know, that was a positive, a big positive, I'd say, you know. The one I didn't mention, the race, the small bet that I did have was in the Mare's Novice Hurdle, a horse called Brighter Days Ahead. Not like me, but I actually backed this for the Mare's Novice after its first run in a bumper. I just blew me away. I just like, you know, it was a big price. I just only a small bet on it, you know. Then it followed it up at Fairy House against the boys. I mean, I do like this horse. It looks a strong stayer, but it doesn't look short of speed either. Exciting prospect. Price it is now, I think it's around 12s. That'd be borderline if I'd be backing that, but I won't put you off it. It just looks promising horse. Obviously Mullins is going to come out with some. One that's already seen a race course is Aurora Vega. Out of Quavega, Walk in the Park. In my book, that makes that a full sister to Facile Vega. Yeah. Out, she's been out twice in 2 bumpers, 1 to 5, 1 to 7. You know, counted in both times. Could be anything. She's going to be a valuable broodmare. You know, I don't think this will ever see fences. She looks like she could jump a fence, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, she looks exciting. I did know when You Ought to Know won his last bumper, Aurora Vega was also entered for that race. Patrick had chose to ride You Ought to Know, so Aurora Vega were the second string there. They did pull it out, but yeah, nonetheless, it's looks an exciting horse going forward, and I'm sure Mullins will have So God knows what else he's going to bring out as well. I maybe just wouldn't rush in to back it for the Mayor's Novice yet, unless you've seen some iron, because they could go the bumper route for it, which would be kind of unusual in a way. The way Mullins campaigns his horses, you wouldn't expect one that's already run 2 bumpers going into the autumn to be his main bumper horse. But it's just the connections, it's same connections as Passar Vega. They obviously did well with the bumper there, so, it might be just worth hanging fire for the stable tours or whatever, just to see where it's going if you're wanting to back that horse. But yeah, an exciting prospect going forward. So yeah, that was the one I missed. Friday's racing, yeah, I think we only really talked about the Gold Cup. The big news really at the front ends of the ante-post markets is Impervious is a serious doubt for the Mayor's Chase, so that would open that race up a lot. Still not really looked into that race, but yeah, that's significant. Gold Cup, see blue there. I could talk a little more about the Gold Cup. I mean, Galloping came out with a few reasons that I couldn't really back him at the moment, like I said, at the price he is. But, I mean, I've got a picture of him I meant to show you. I left it upstairs, I love the horse. Apart from the reasons I said before, the kind of accelerated maturing thing, becoming almost lazy last season. He wondered if maybe he'd be going over that peak a little early. Obviously he did have a tough race in the Gold Cup, and that kind of leave a mark. It's done it with plenty of horses, plenty of horses. ep.2 just recently, won like a superstar, and not been terrible since. So there is, it's got that question to answer as well. It's his classiest horse in the race, no doubt. But I'd just rather hang fire and back it at a shorter price when Apart from all that's pretty much it then. Like I say, I just want to see if this sound's coming through better. I'm sorry about that last time. One horse that I didn't mention before, just as a horse to look forward to, would be a horse called Mr. Policeman. This could be anything. Some beautiful Richie horses. I love them silks, Fahine, Vator, Duvan, So I've got. We all have our favourites, don't we? But I love them silks. Yeah, this horse, it just come from France to Willys. It already lost its novice status, so it's in quite a difficult place to place. He ran this in a open, I don't know where now, maybe a listed race, something like that. Against, it'd be a horse cashback. He's rated 140s, probably mid to high 140s. Another horse, I think Elliott's maybe come third, fourth. They set a decent standard for this horse, just having his first run for the stable after like 1 or 2 runs in France. Confidence, I mean, he got backed into favourite. I don't know what he went off, maybe 6-4, somewhere in that range. He travelled fucking awesome through race. really took the eye. I thought he kind of, just for a moment there, maybe faltered a bit. It's like, is he actually going to go through with this? I mean, and he did. He won well enough, and you can excuse that. You know, his first run for the yard, inexperience, all that. You know, but yeah, he looks really impressive. He could be. I don't know what the plans are. He could be staying over hurdles. He could end up going over fences. He could end up in a champion hurdle. Could end up in an Arkle. Turners, I don't know, no idea, but he just looks really, yeah, watch out for Mr. Policeman. That's it really, that's all I wanted to cover. We'll see how the sound comes out on this, and we'll do maybe a bit more of an in-depth video in a week or two, okay? Hope you had a nice summer anyway. We've just got the tail end of it now. It's still not bad outside, you know. But yeah, it's getting exciting now. We're not far away, are we? So, alright, see you soon.